can a 2000 Toyota Celica with about 115,000 miles on it. It doesn't really matter because the motor is one that I put together and put in it. So can it go 3,000 plus miles? I think it can. All right, it's 00 dark 30. It's 12:26 exactly in the AM. As I say, a trip of 1,000,000 miles begins with a single step, or as this case, a trip of 3,000 miles begins with putting the car in gear. Hopefully this trip is boring as hell. This car's got 112,000 miles on it. It's got a motor in it that I put together myself, and this is its second 3,000 plus mile trip. So wish me luck, and away we go. And that's what it's all about. Hours and hours and hours of road going by. Ooh, look, there's a car. To Tennessee. Woohoo! Halfway across Tennessee. The sun is up. Alright, can a 2000 Toyota Celica with 115,000 miles go 3,000 plus miles in a couple of weeks? I think it can. It's doing pretty good so far. Oh, by the way, the motor doesn't have that kind of miles. I think it might have more miles. It's put together out of two different motors. It's a long story. Yes, a long story. All right, let's try to kind of make a long story kind of short. We got to go back through time a little ways. This motor is actually the motor that I put in this video right here. The motor was put together out of two different motors. I used the block from the AlumaWeld video right here. This motor had also spun a bearing, so the crank was bad and it had one bad rod. This motor was a hydrolock motor. This is the motor that I used the crankshaft out of and 3 rods. I used one good rod out of this, and luckily when I put it all together I didn't have to buy new bearings because both motors had standard size bearings in them. So anyway, I put the two motors together. I wish I had videoed it, putting it together so that everybody could see what was done, but nothing out of the ordinary, just plastic gauged all the bearings, checked them for clearances, stuff like that. Put it together, took it out, ran it around here for a while. This is the second 3,000 plus mile trip that this has made. It did it about 4 years ago, and it did fine on that trip, and I ran it hard on that trip. I mean, I really did run it hard. Stayed together. I had a good time with it, and we're going to see if it'll do it again. Anyway, running good so far. Tires I put on it are rolling nice and smooth. All the fluid staying in it. Got about another 7 or 8 hours to go to get to my first destination, and running great though. Running about 75 miles an hour, so just cruising down the highway. It's enjoying itself. Fingers crossed. Wish me luck. Ohio River. All right. Day 2 on the road, day 3 of the trip. Spent the day yesterday out in the sun. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Got a little bit of color. Anyway, everything's going good. Car's running good, running smooth. Gone about 1,000 miles so far. And I got about 560 to do today. So far, so good. A little something to break the monotony. Got a bunch of smoke up here on the left-hand side of the road. Wonder what's happening over there. Well, it looks like I've reached the land of freedom. Look at that beautiful sign. Well, I'm going to spend a couple weeks here and then I'll be headed on back home. Car is doing great so far. Tires still perfectly balanced, running smooth. Just cruising right along. We're up here in the land of freedom where the speed limit is 80 miles an hour. My speedometer's a little bit off, so GPS says that's 80 right there. And she just cruises right along. Well, it's early on a Tuesday morning. As you can tell, we're headed south, being early in the morning. So far, I've covered 1,757 miles. Back to your camera. And I've got about 625 to do today. So far, the car's doing real good. And absolutely no problems with it. Should be able to cover a 3,000 plus mile trip with no problems. Well, I've knocked out about 350 miles and put another tank of gas in it, and all is well. Got 2,109 miles covered so far. Another 270 to go for today, and then of course another 900 to go to get home, but all is well. Day 256 on the road. We have no idea where. No, anyway, we got another travel day ahead of us here. Car's doing great. We've traveled 2,530 miles so far. Got 900 miles to go today, about 930. And I've covered about 120 of that. The sun is coming up. Things are going good. I think we might be able to make this entire trip. 3,000 miles plus on a 20-year-old car. We can do this. Piece of cake. All right, went from super clear to foggy like this in a matter of about a mile. Well, the orange barrel crop is really coming in. I think we're getting about 15 or 20 barrels to the acre here. The sun is nice and bright. It's high in the sky. It's middle of the day and just over halfway through this beautiful 9-hour run. Well, no, 900-mile run. Yeah, 14 hours of driving. And the way things are going right now, I think I'll be able to finish this drive today. The car definitely will be able to. It's very happy. So far, so good. Should make it home 8:30, 9 o'clock tonight. Woohoo! Construction. Says it's backed up 9 minutes according to the GPS. Manual transmissions are great. So you do about 4 miles of that stop and go stuff with a lightweight flywheel, and a motor that hasn't got any torque to take off with. But it worked out. But we appear to be through it, and we're on the way again. Mountain road traffic jam. Almost there. Got 36 minutes before I pull up at the house. Right now I've got 3,300 miles. That's a pretty good run for a car that's 20 years old. I think we're gonna make it. Well, we're here. We made it. Me and the car. 3,331 miles. And not a single bit of trouble. Alright, I traveled 3,330 miles with a 20-year-old car. I'm pretty happy with the results. Sorry there wasn't more interesting stuff going on in this video, like broke down on the side of the road and having to fix things, but that wasn't my goal. Anyway, if you watch this thing all the way through, well, thanks for watching. And you know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, all that other good stuff. And maybe check out some of my other videos. Again, thanks for watching.